verse 691. Are all things to be regarded as unborn or not? Pray tell, O Mahamuni. The doctrine of causelessness, no birth, the rising of existence, all these are held by the philosophers. 692. I teach mind only, which is removed from the dualism of being and non-being. One should discard the view of birth and no birth, which causes various philosophical theories. 693. In the doctrine of causelessness, of no birth, of birth, the notion of a causal agency is involved, on which they depend. Effortless deeds come from nothingness, and deeds as ordinarily performed are mixed with motives. 694. Tell me the right view that goes with skillful means, original vows, etc. How does the society of the holy ones come into existence when all things are not? 695. By separating oneself from the dualism of perceived and perceiving, there is neither evolution nor cessation. The mind is born as views are cherished as regards one existence or another. 696. Things are said to be unborn. How is this? Pray, tell me. Sentient beings do not understand it, so it ought to be explained. 697. Pray, explain to me, O Mahamuni, all the contradictions involved in the statements made before and after, to escape the errors of the philosophers and to be released from the perverted theory of causation. 698. Pray, tell me, O most excellent of teachers, regarding cessation and coming back into existence, in order to be released from being and non-being, and yet not to destroy cause and effect. 699. Pray, tell me, as to the graded succession of the stages, O lotus-eyed one, for the world cherishes dualism and is bewildered with wrong views. 700. For, on account of the wrong views concerning birth, no birth, etc., the cause of serenity is not recognized. There is no society of the holy ones for me, and I have no chance to discourse on the nature of being. 701. There is error where dualism is maintained, but the Buddhas are thoroughly free from dualism. All things are empty, momentary, have no self-nature, and have never been born. 702. Discriminations are carried on by those who are enveloped by evil theories and doctrines, but not by the Tathagatas. Pray, tell me about the rise and cessation of discrimination. 703. Accumulated by false reasonings, there is a combination of varieties of appearances and vijnanas, whereby each vijnana takes in an objective field according to its class. 704. Recognizing external forms, discrimination is set in motion. As this is understood and the meaning of reality is seen as it is, the mind conforms itself to the nature of the wise and is no more set in motion. 705. The elements being rejected, there is no birth of things. But as the elements, as appearances, are always the mind, one understands what is meant by no birth. 706. Do not discriminate discrimination. The wise are those who are free from discrimination. When discrimination is carried on, there is dualism, which does not lead to nirvana. 707. By the statement of no birth, Maya is seen and destroyed. When Maya is made to be born of no causation, this injures the truth of the statement. 708. The mind is to be regarded as a reflected image originating in the beginningless past. It is something of reality, but not reality itself. One should realize it truly as it is in itself. 709. The nature of birth or existence is like an image appearing in a mirror, which, while it is devoid of oneness and otherness, is not altogether non-existent. 710. Like the Gandharva city, Maya, etc., which appear depending upon causes and conditions, the birth of all things is not no birth in a relative sense. 711. It is on account of general usage that a dualistic discrimination is set up as regards persons and things, but this is not clearly understood by the ignorant, so that the thought of an ego soul and individual objects is cherished. 712. There are 5 classes of Shravakas. The Shravakas, that is, hearers generally, those who are attached to the doctrine of causation, those who are arhats, those who are dependent upon their own power, and those who are dependent upon the power of the Buddha. 713. Time interruption, destruction, the highest reality, and mutuality, these 4 are imagined as involved in the idea of impermanency by the ignorant who are not endowed with intelligence. 714. The ignorant, addicted to dualism, cherish such thoughts as dualities, atoms, and primary cause, and fail to understand the means of emancipation because they adhere to the alternatives of being and non-being.